toast tonight by Matron of Honor Crystal Isaacs and co-best men Chris Lowe and Ben Isaacs. So let's give it up for Crystal, Chris, and Ben.
Hey everybody. So I'm Crystal Isaacs. That is my husband, Ben Isaacs, and Chris Lowe. They're the co-best men.
Also her husband.
Yes, those are my co-husbands. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm the matron of honor, as Sam likes to point out, because I'm an old married lady. So I'd like to start by congratulating Sam on officially becoming an old married lady. I'd also like to thank Sam's parents, James's parents, for throwing this lovely party. I know they've dreamed of it or dreamed it, planning it for a long time now. And thank all of you guys for coming to watch my best friend marry my best friend's best friend. Sorry, I just had this little hotel pad of paper. So Sam and I met our freshman year in undergrad at UK. We realized we had the same classes, we lived in the same dorm, and we both wanted to be pharmacists. We also shared a hysterical sense of humor, became very best friends. So somewhere along the way I met Ben. He had moved up from Florida and went to UK, and somehow our schedules overlapped, and the rest is history. So enter a tennis ball, and one very heated argument later that Ben had to mediate. And that was my first experience with James, Ben's friend who was visiting from Florida. So I got to know James over the years as we had many debates, or just re-debates of the original debate. And I loved him anyway, despite that he was wrong. So fast forward to pharmacy school, where they make you take 7 exams in any given weekend. And I guess we were in our second year of pharmacy school. We just had finished the weekend of exams. Basically, no sleep, minus maybe a 20-minute nap in the library floor. No food, dehydration, lots of stress. So we had just finished up exams, and we decided to go out on the town to make our worries go away. So with all that starvation, dehydration, we were a pretty cheap date. So we had had about 1 drink, and we were feeling pretty good. Next thing we know, we're wearing glow stick necklaces and taking free shots of tequila, which turned out to be cheap, nasty whiskey. Needless to say, not much later, we were feeling really good. So, in that state, I thought it would be hysterical to send Ben's friend James, newly single James, a picture of the newly single Sam, who he had never even heard of. I don't remember how one thing led to another, especially given the miles between them. And I don't know how Sam didn't fail that year due to all of her Skyping online with James. But I do know that all of this started years ago, that one night with that single picture text that Sam sent to James that read, "Your future wife." So, ladies and gents, let's get a toast going for these two, for the fact that Sam is no longer James's future wife, but is indeed his wife. Love you guys a lot. Hear, hear.
I'm Chris Lowe, the better half of the best man.
Coming and sharing this special occasion with Samantha and James. We really appreciate you all coming. Thank you to both families for hosting such a beautiful event. While Crystal's was funny, mine's actually sentimental, which is weird, so I think we switched our speeches here. I'll leave Chris with the funny stuff, but there's a quote that I want to read. Yeah, you're doing the funny part, you don't remember? There's a quote that I want to read. There's a quote that speaks about long-distance relationships. It's about the wait, the anticipation, the longing to see one another, and that final moment when the wait was all worth it. The quote is an idea that can be valuable in any relationship, and it's something that you all are already good at. The quote is, falling in love all over again. So I challenge you, Don't forget that quote. Don't forget where you came from. And don't forget why you did it. Funny part.
I wasn't planning on being funny. I don't like being up here, honestly, so I'm going to move around like a motivational speaker in a pyramid scheme. So James was my best man at my wedding about a month ago, and he opened his speech with essentially telling me that Chris and I'm Chris, went to private school together, and when we went to the school, we didn't know anybody. We didn't have many friends. We didn't really know anyone else. But somehow, at some point, we got to know each other, and we became friends. I felt like that made us sound like the biggest losers in the world. But we did become fast friends, and then Ben, the guy that just talked, came in the middle and ruined everything. No, we became really good friends. I remember we saw the movie The Girl Next Door like all together, and it's a really stupid, silly comedy movie, but there's like 3 friends in that, and at the end of it, they say like, we're a tripod, which is like, if you kick one of the legs down, and then they all fall down, and that's how big of losers we are. We kind of equated ourselves to that. Anyway, fast forward. Oh wait, well actually I want to add that together the 3 of us made rap songs together that we will take to our grave. Not because of the content, but because they were so lame that we'll never let anyone hear them. Fast forward some years, James is honestly my best friend, and I remember when he told me that he, found Samantha, and he said essentially like, well, I asked, awesome, dude. Like, he was telling me how in love with her that he was, and I said, awesome, that's great. Where does she live? And James was living in Melbourne, and he said, Kentucky. And I was like, that's great. In my head, I was like, this is the worst idea in the world. But I didn't say that, obviously. And so ensued like a long-distance online relationship that like people at meetupmatch.com would think like this is the craziest thing in the world, because they just like literally meet up and date, but they were like dating online. And I remember I was at his house one time when they were having a Skype session, and they were doing these things where you could like put mustaches or something on each other. And I was wondering, like, how many times can you do this before this gets really boring? But apparently, a lot. The thing I think that's important about their relationship is that most relationships kind of start with that, that really high of like, you get together, there's like a lot of crazy like butterflies and all that type of stuff where you're doing a lot of things, and then comes a few years later, like all the little things happen, and that's when you really find out whether or not you really like each other. But their relationship literally grew on the fact that they were doing the little things, and to doing like nothing a lot of times, like just being on Skype for months at a time, not seeing each other. And they legitimately like enjoy each other's nothing company. And I think that honestly speaks more volumes than anything else, and shows probably how much more they'll last than anybody else. I'm actually a little bit emotional with myself for this, which I'm not expecting. But anyway, cheers to that. I forgot my drink, but I'll hold up the mic. So cheers to that. To James.
All right, let's hear it for our toast again. They were awesome. Well done. And now we'll be having our cake cutting, so please make your way.